When you play the Game of Thrones, you
Subscribe and like.
or you die. There is no middle ground.
Alright, hello YouTube, and welcome back to the Grease Commons YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing another Winds of Winter character prediction. And this video is going to be on Tommen and Myrcella. I kind of decided to just loop them together because I think they both have very similar fates, sadly enough. But yeah, before we get into the video, if you guys like to subscribe, like, and comment, please do. It helps the channel grow, and be sure to people that might like this content as well. And let's get into the video. So, Tommen and Myrcella, right? They're both kind of in two different places, but they should be together early on in Winds of Winter. Tommen being the king, he is in King's Landing. And Myrcella is on her way back to King's Landing with Nymeria. Now, this was supposed to be with Balon Swan, because he is the Kingsguard sent to get her back, and Myrcella basically tells him to go avenge her because of her ear kind of getting cut off. And he goes to take on Darkstar, and we kind of know how that's going to go. Not well. But that ends up happening. So the big thing here is both of these characters are going to be in King's Landing. Now, if you go off what I believe that Aegon, alongside of the Golden Company and the Dornish forces, because I think Ariane's going to get the Dornish forces involved here, and they will support Aegon. I then believe there's going to be kind of a sack of King's Landing. I think with the Sand Snakes kind of being already in King's Landing, being able to cause a bunch of chaos, and Varys as well causing his chaos in King's Landing, I think this will be a very easy sack. I feel like it's going to be very reminiscent to the Lannister sack during Robert's Rebellion, in which the Mad King opens the gates for Tywin. I think it's going to be something similar to that, where there really isn't much of a fight. It's kind of just a sack of the city. And during this, sadly, what's going to have to end up happening is I believe Myrcella is going to be killed by the Sand Snakes. I think Tommen will be saved more for Aegon to kind of get rid of him and all that, because here's the thing. Just like in Robert Baratheon's dynasty, or I guess the start of him taking over, there can't really be any Targaryens left. Because as you see in the main story, if you leave the Targaryens, alive, they're going to come back. They have kind of a right to the throne, and arguably it's better than yours. And something I've talked about in the great morality of A Song of Ice and Fire, in a video I've done before, is, was Robert wrong to have Daenerys killed? Like, yes, it is bad to kill a child, but if you look at how much death and destruction is going to happen because of Daenerys being alive, especially when she comes over to Westeros, and I know she's done a lot of good, don't get me wrong, right? But you can't deny her having the dragons, and when she comes over, there's going to be a lot of carnage. How much more peaceful and safer could the realm be if that had been different? So I look at that, and I think we're going to have a mirror of that. I think the Mad King getting overthrown is going to be a mirror in how Aegon ends up taking King's Landing. So kind of what's going to happen to these two characters. They're both going to die. Respectfully, Tommen may get like more of a proper death, where it's like maybe a beheading or something like that. But I personally believe Myrcella is just going to be poisoned or killed by the Sand Snakes. She's going to be dead. I also believe Cersei has to die here. Maybe she ends up dying because of Jaime. Jaime hears that King's Landing is going to be under siege. He rides back, and Cersei starts going Mad Queen, and he kind of kills her, and then they die together. I could definitely see that being a major possibility, but this is going to be a pretty short and sweet one, because Tommen and Myrcella are destined to die. If it's not with Aegon, it's with Daenerys, right? They have to die logically, because there would be still claimants to the throne from people claiming that they're still Robert Baratheons. Now, and there's also a lot of things that have been kind of going on that would go against the legitimacy of the Baratheons, or I guess of Tommen and Myrcella being Baratheons. I've talked about this before. Littlefinger is someone that asks for Robert's tapestries. Why would he ask for that? So we already have Littlefinger kind of, I think he has his own plot to reveal that they are not the truth. I believe Varys has Tyrick Lannister kind of hidden away to reveal him that these children, again, were not, real. They were Lannisters, right? Now, again, we've always heard rumors that these children were Lannisters, but again, we had no real solid proof. It was kind of Stannis' word against everyone. And this would be the way that you signify that they were bastards, and that's going to be kind of the justification for them being killed. So I think that is how all of that ends. I think both of her children, Cersei's children, will die before she does. I think she will, very similar to the show, where she will see all of her children die, and then she will be killed after. I feel like the grief and the loss will be the thing she turns to make her kind of try to set off the wildfire in King's Landing, and Jaime is the one to stop that once again, and I think he will kill her. Again, mirroring heavily the sack of King's Landing and Robert's Rebellion. I think this has a very similar note in that event to what's going to happen with Aegon and King's Landing in Winds. I would assume it'd be in Winds, because if it's not, I mean, you're really pushing where the story's going. But yeah, so that is what I think is going to happen. Let me know what you guys think on how the sack of King's Landing is going to happen, or what's going to happen in King's Landing. Will Aegon succeed? And I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye, guys.
If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.